Final Fantasy IX is the 9th mainline Final Fantasy game. Released in 2000 during the golden era of Final Fantasy games, this game reverts the franchise back to medieval themes while still retaining some core aspects of industry from Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy IX's hard themes on death, friends, love, and letting go of your wrongdoings has acclaimed this game to be one of the best RPGs of all time. And that is speaking lightly. Final Fantasy IX's influence was massive over the Japanese and Western audiences. People around the globe loved this game. However, initial responses weren't as positive, and it took a while before Final Fantasy IX actually lived up to its legacy. And now, with talks of a remake and the Final Fantasy IX 25th anniversary coming and going, the hype around this game is the strongest it has ever been. The gameplay is amazing. There are lots of puzzles, card games, cutscenes and boss battles outside of actual just normal random encounters that make this game really enjoyable. The leveling system has returned, and also the crystal system where you can equip certain items and master spells or abilities and then equip them later on in the game. It means you can customize your characters in a lot of unique ways. Certain characters can't learn certain spells or abilities, but it still works out pretty well. While there are a lot of talking sections, they don't become overbearing and you spend most of the game enjoying the battles and the extra contents. This is good because in certain other games, there's way too many talking sections that it just becomes more of a film than an actual video game. Tetramaster is one of these extra content sections. It is very addictive. It's like a card game where you try and win points against your opponent and then you get to steal their cards if you win, or they steal one of yours if you lose. This honestly was one of the best bits of the entire game. Collecting all the cards was so much fun. Like just trying to get as many as you can and beat as many people as you can. You can pretty much play against anyone in this game, which is just incredible. Inside battle you get the ATB system returning once again. It's pretty similar to games in the past such as Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII. However, this time you have 4 characters and not 3, which is a change. While the combat's a little bit slow at times, it's also still really fun. The backgrounds in it look amazing and it feels great. There really isn't anything bad to say about the gameplay. Like, throughout the entire time I had so much fun playing it. It never gets boring. There's always something fun to do. Even the mandatory card game is good fun. That's when you know you've made a good card game. The characters are so well written. Almost all of them, playable and NPC, have well-rounded stories that fit them very well. Kuja, Vivi, Garnet/Dagger, Beatrix, Steiner and Zidane are especially amazing due to their themes and how they overcome their fears. Another mention is Queen Bran. She is very compelling and it's clear from the start of the game that she is extremely evil. And when you see her in a cutscene, you feel genuine fear and terrified of her because she has decimated entire cities at the state of whim. She's just horribly evil. At any point she was on screen, I was genuinely scared for the characters because she was, pretty scary. The main villain, however, is Kuja. His massive fear of death leads him to complete insanity. He hates his mortal form and cannot see life without him in it. He will do anything, and I mean anything, to reach immortality. Vivi, a black mage who we learned somewhat early on, is due to die as their lifespan is only 1 year. While he is distressed by this, he courageously carries on to protect his friends, even though his overlooming fear of death is still present within him. I mean, friendship is very strong in Final Fantasy IX. Zidane learns that he can't do everything alone, and that there are people around him that are there to stand by him. Beatrix and Steiner go against their queen, which is Queen Bran, after she becomes far too full of greed. They learn to overcome their wrongdoings and stand up for what actually is morally correct, even if it's against their queen. I honestly could literally go on for the rest of the day about every single character because they're so well written. It's some of the best in the entire franchise. Not only are the characters, really well written. They're also just really lifelike, you know? They do funny things, they have their comedic moments, they're fun, they're just full to the brim of character. And while the themes of all these characters are very serious, there are times where, you know, they don't get this serious, and they have fun with each other and with other NPCs and other characters like it. It's a great mix. It's serious when it needs to be, and then it's fun when it, you know, can be fun. The original soundtrack was created and composed by Nobuo Uematsu, a legend in JRPG history. The soundtrack is incredible. The tracks feel very medieval, but also have a very slight hint of industry in certain places. The soundtrack is fun, a bit silly at times, can be scary and also very tense when it needs to be. It covers a wider range of different feelings. Tracks are not overused, and this is backed up for the fact that some are only played once or twice throughout the entire game. A lot of tracks feel very unique in that sense. This is Uematsu's last time composing a full Final Fantasy game by himself. He later came back to do Final Fantasy VII Remake, but this is the last time that he was composing it exclusively. And I mean, what a way to go out. He composed over 140 songs that ended up being in the game, and spent about a year producing and composing these songs. And I mean, it goes to show the hard work he put into his final ever Final Fantasy game. Some tracks pull motifs from previous Final Fantasy games. For some people this was really nice to have, it added a bit of nostalgia, but for other people they thought it made it a bit bland at times and just lack of creativity in copying previous Final Fantasy games. The decision is yours whether or not you think this is a good thing. I think it's pretty good. It's nice to have that sense of nostalgia there. Talks of a Final Fantasy IX Remake have been around for about the better part of a decade. These have only strengthened, especially after the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy and the Final Fantasy IX Remastered, which was released about 10 years ago. A leak released on Twitter about a bunch of games being released and to be announced were all true, apart from the Final Fantasy IX Remake, which was included in that list. Now the 25th anniversary has passed and Square have released new artwork for a lot of characters, but no announcement of a remake has been made. Now people are saying it's cancelled, and it's because of troubled development. It doesn't make much sense. There's something really weird going on about this remake. Personally, I'm not convinced by this. I think it is still happening, and I mean, we have Gamescom coming up, so we might get a PS5 announcement there, but poor Final Fantasy IX fans, we've been very much let down. The story begins in Alexandria, where Tantalus, a theatre troupe, attempts to kidnap Princess Garnet. However, Princess Garnet is fearful of her mother Queen Bran, and decided that she actually wants to be kidnapped. As the story progresses and we learn more about the characters, it becomes clear that they all have their own demons to overcome. By fighting against the big bad, Kuja, they overcome their fears. The story doesn't really have any huge shocking twists, but it does challenge you towards the end. The story is kept relatively simple, but this gives the characters more time to shine, and the themes more emphasis. By creating a story that's a lot more simpler, the themes and characters shine brighter than ever before. As this is the first one of the series, the only place this can go is in number 1. Now this is going to likely stay at number 1 for quite a while. I started off on quite a strong note. Final Fantasy IX is not without fault, but it is an extremely good game. The constant want for this game to be remaked is, I think, proof enough of how legendary this game is. Over the coming months, or maybe years, I will do the rest of the games. I think I'll also do the spin-offs too. Well, not all the spin-offs, but like relevant spin-offs, you know, like Final Fantasy X-2 and stuff like that. But Final Fantasy IX will stand at the top for quite a while. Anyway, other videos are coming soon. Please leave a like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. It means I can continue doing this. Sorry for a little break. I was pretty busy doing things. And I'll catch you in the next one, hopefully.